The last thing I wanted to talk about has really nothing to do with April Fool's Day, but I just wanted to kind of show off something that I had gotten in. Recently, I was wanting to get back into collecting some of the older Fangoria magazines. I love the classic Fangoria magazines. Really like going back and reading them. Jay Real actually had several issues that he was wanting to sell. And I bought a few of them from him and subsequently split them with a friend, so I have one half and the friend has the other. But I'll show you the ones that I do have. The first one I'm going to show you is issue number 28, and this is from 1983. It has stuff on the Dead Zone, Psycho 2, Spasms, has stuff on makeup effects by Carl Fullerton, stuff on the Deadly Spawn, or stuff on John Buechler. And as you've seen in some of my other videos, this has the Screen Greats posters where you pretty much had to take the cover off your magazine, as you can see there, to be able to utilize the poster, which was my classic Fangorias. If the poster is intact, I don't take the cover off, because I really don't want to damage the magazine, because as you can see, this is pretty much in decent condition. It's not in mint condition. There are some there's a fold there at the corner, but for an issue from 1983, I think it's in awesome condition. And as you can see, again, like the classic, the older issues didn't have a lot of color in them. It was a lot more like a newsprint type thing. But this is a great issue. I've been reading on it recently, so I really like it. And you can see an advertisement for Twilight Zone the movie on the back there. The next issue is number 46. You can see a picture of Life Force on there. I think, yeah, Toby Hooper did that one. It's space vampires, which is interesting in and of itself. There's also, actually, this does tie in with the April Fool's Day theme, because Caroline Monroe, they're talking to Caroline Monroe about April Fool's Day. You can see on the cover. Or aka Slaughter High, but at that time it must have been still called April Fool's Day. There's also stuff on Reanimator. There's stuff on Day of the Dead. There's a Night of the Living Dead book excerpt. And there's stuff on The Bride. And again, there's another, this is a poster for Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, I'm not going to take the cover off to get the poster. This issue is from 1985. And again, you can see that a lot of the pages are the newsprint. Not a lot of color. There is some color. And you can see they had, they actually had comic strips in Fangoria at one time. And there's some stuff there from Reanimator. Of course, see, that's what I liked about these old issues. They wouldn't use the color exclusively for the whole magazine. They would use the color for you know, to make things pop. There were certain articles, I don't really want to say important, I almost said important, but articles that would really benefit from having the color, that's where they used the color, and I think that really worked to their advantage, especially at that time period. The next issue is number 55 from, there's a cover of it right there, from 1986, and there's another poster from Horror of Dracula there. There's stuff on Toby Hooper's Invaders from Mars. There's a great article on The Fly. You can see this one's a little more worn than some of them, but it's still in pretty decent shape. There's a retrospective on Psycho. There's stuff on Poltergeist 2, Aliens. There's a Clive Barker piece on Books of Blood. Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. There's stuff on From Beyond, which is another one of my favorite H.P. Lovecraft adaptations that has Jeffrey Combs in it. There's stuff on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. There's also something where a Fangoria reader could win a Bloody Reanimator head, which would have been awesome to win. Again, there's showing how the color works, because there's an article on David Cronenberg's The Fly, which that is one remake that I really have great respect for, because number one, David Cronenberg is an excellent director, and number two, the original The Fly, while it's a fun movie, it was made in a time where they didn't really have the special effects to be able to produce a creature that looks like a fly. So you know, you're dealing with rubber heads and things like that, and there were some just enormously silly shots in the original The Fly. Whereas this, as you can see some of the makeup effects, and for those of you that have seen Cronenberg's The Fly, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, they really made Jeff Goldblum look like he was becoming something else. I mean, it was shocking for me the first time that I saw that, and to see the vomit drop and things like that. But it's a really cool film. I know I'm not really talking about The Fly here, but if you haven't seen that remake, you really need to see it. The next issue I have is, let's see which issue this is, number 56 from 1986. As you can see, a great poster there from the remake of The Thing that John Carpenter directed. Another awesome remake. And you can see, here's the cover there that has a big article on Maximum Overdrive. They actually did a Stephen King interview at that time. There's you could win a Stephen King's autographed script. There's stuff on Tom Savini talking about Texas Chainsaw 2, Aliens. There's more information on The Fly. Wes Craven built a better zombie. Christopher Lee hunts werewolves. There's information on Vamp. More information on From Beyond. There's another article on The Fly there with David Cronenberg. Again, you can see how the color works to the advantage. Now there, if you see there's some scenes from Maximum Overdrive, which here's a scene here with a chainsaw that I never saw in the film. So that's another great thing about Fangoria.